And you're just in time for Siasa Brigade, your go-to point on matters politics and governance. Hosted by yours truly, son of the soil, Richard Mwanjo. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Today we're talking a plethora of issues in the world of Kenya's politics, and we're going to unpack them one after the other. But first of all, let me introduce our regular analyst on the show, none other than East Africa's biggest political analyst, Herman Manyora. Great to see you, sir.
Biggest is not the right word, but I'm okay.
Good all right, to see you most sought after then.
Good to see you.
Good to see me. Yes. Biggest export, and you're traveling to the village.
Superlatives are always, be careful with superlatives.
I should be careful with them.
They are an affront on humility.
Ah.
Yes, continue.
All right. All right, no worries. All right, sir. Today we're talking a number of issues in the world of Kenya's politics, particularly that to do with 2027 elections and also the current political atmosphere. You went on Twitter the other day, and this is what you had to say. Let me read it to the audience. That Your Excellency, this closeness to Dramaman, that is Rigathi you're addressing. Your Excellency, the closeness to Dramaman, Cleophas Malala, has tongue swagging. They say you're using Malala to fight Papa wa Roma, Honorable Wetangula, that is, and Mwana Wahana, that is Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. What do you have to say about this, sir? Now, that was your tweet.
Yes, yes.
And somewhat, from where you sit, are you trying to tell the masses that you believe the only people who can come into the way of Rigathi ascending to the seat of the presidency is Papa wa Roma and Musalia Mudavadi?
That's the general talk. People are toying with the idea that at some point, whether 27 or 32, perhaps Ruto could support Rigathi Musalia Mudavadi at the expense of Rigathi. I know that's not possible, but that's what people are saying. That is what the Luhya people are believing in their dreams. If you ask Luhyas, they can see Mwana Wahana succeeding Ruto by either being his running mate in 2027 or being the supported president in 2032. All that is hot air, if you ask me. But that's the thinking. So I was just saying, now that you are so close, and that school of thought has been arguing that they are elevating Malala,
Cleophas Malala,
so as to undercut Mudavadi and
Wetangula.
You see? And therefore, the people also who have been saying that Rig G will do everything possible to promote Malala. So when they are taking that morning walk, I'm just wondering, is this playing into the script?
All right.
Yes.
Or not?
Or not.
You have a long time history. You are renowned to be someone with the ability to smell the coffee on many aspects. And particularly when it comes to the 2027 politics or 2032, do you find that even the appointment of Cleophas Malala as the SG of the ruling party was sort of strategic to attain some of these things that people are imagining?
You know, I think Ruto is very calculative. He will not desert Gachagua. Forget about it. He'll be with Gachagua. But remember, he barely made it. So he would want to keep Western. But he also would not want a person from Western to grow horns, to think he's indispensable. You get it?
Sure.
And that's why when you have Papa wa Roma and Mudavadi, they are checkmating each other. And if you are Ruto, you can see how if they joined hands the way I've been suggesting, it will smell doom. So you accommodate Atwoli.
Okay.
So that they are not as important as they may think they are when Atwoli is there. Again, you see, why can't I make it even better? You elevate Malala. You see how the game is being played?
Sure enough.
And then there's Boni Khalwale. So that these people are good in your team, in your camp, and on the ground in Western, but none of them can threaten you. Because when you choose Rig G in 2027, there could be some people who could make some noise in Western. And there could be some people who are ambitious and say, come on, let's go for this thing. So you want to make sure these people checkmate each other. Yeah.
Very well. You have gone on record to say that the biggest political problem with Musalia Mudavadi is the political blindedness that he gets anytime we are approaching elections. Even if he is going for the presidency, he doesn't really go to the ground with the gravitas and really with the wherewithal that one needs to become the president. Now that we are already having talks, people thinking that Ruto will support him to be president, and now Gachagua is also in the matrix and Cleophas Malala, are you saying it's high time also Musalia Mudavadi puts his best foot forward if indeed he wants to secure his future politics?
I've always meant well for Musalia Mudavadi. But many people, especially from Western, think I hate him or something like that. Mudavadi has everything working his way. In fact, if there's a politician in this country who has a name across the country, it can only be Musalia Mudavadi. Across the country.
With the less
so that nobody will miss their sleep in this country if they heard that Musalia Mudavadi has become president. Nobody. From any corner of the world. Nobody will miss their sleep. In fact, people just sleep. To wake up in a country where Musalia Mudavadi is the president. That is the sort of name the guy has. But opportunities have always beckoned. And he has always squandered the opportunities. The only one I can understand is when the country wanted to make him president to run against Uhuru Kenyatta in 2002. I can understand because of his closeness and the family closeness with Moi, number one, and his age at that time. But if he had the daring spirit in him, he would have become president in 2002. Because people are looking for a person to challenge Moi's choice for Uhuru. Mudavadi was going to be that person. In fact, Kibaki would not have been considered. Raila wanted Mudavadi. Everybody wanted Mudavadi. I understand because of that family connection with Moi and because of his tender age. Then he worked with Raila in the Pentagon. Deputy captain. When things happened the way they happened, he was deputy prime minister. Yeah. But instead of working with Raila in 2013 to take the seat, he went into the bush.
For the presidency.
Yeah, and he got what he got.
Don't go there, please.
Yeah,
all right.
He came number 4 after spoiled votes. And then made it what was a very obvious win for Raila, he made it disappear with the winds. Come 2017, he did the right thing, came up with NASA. By the way, NASA was Mudavadi's creation, and I was there. I even volunteered to work for him.
He was the brains behind it.
It was his creation.
His masterpiece.
It was his brainchild. He was the brain behind NASA. Musalia Mudavadi, not anybody else. And we really worked for him. And he did very well. And they got what they got. Unfortunately, Raila went into a handshake and so on and so forth. When Raila went into a handshake, first of all, he made the mistake of not appearing for the swearing in. He lost Raila's ground. If he had appeared for that swearing in, that was a defining moment. Another mistake from him. But having made even that mistake, he still had a chance. When Raila went into the handshake, if Mudavadi had walked out on Raila and said, we can't work on this, 2022 he would have been the president without any doubt. Another opportunity had been when Raila went into Sagana with Kibaki and he came out of Sagana empty-handed and the whole country was annoyed, the opposition side. If Mudavadi had said, I cannot work with you, how can you go to Sagana and come out empty-handed? Why are you offending the people who voted for us? Again, come 2013, he would have been the person to beat. Last year, 2022, was the worst mistake Mudavadi, in my view, has made.
The worst mistake? By
getting annoyed, by sulking against Uhuru Kenyatta for not making him president. I don't know where he had gotten this notion that Uhuru was going to give him. By saying Raila hataki kurudisha mkono, I have supported Raila, getting annoyed and angry and sulking.
Extreme entitlement.
He chose to go in a direction where there's nothing he's getting there. Because what is he in Ruto's side? He's basically
Deputy Prime Minister.
There's nothing he's getting there. That is a ghost worker there. And at the same time, there is no path to president for Mudavadi in that direction. Because there's no way, please let us agree with this, there's no way Ruto, having blamed Uhuru for abandoning him, and having gotten the votes because people thought he was a victim, there's no way Ruto can now turn around and do to Rigathi Gachagua
what Uhuru did to him.
People just look at him and wonder, are you normal? It will galvanize the Kikuyus in a way Ruto will be number 3 or 4 on the ballot. So there's no way Ruto can pick Mudavadi for running mate in 27. Neither is there any way Ruto can support Mudavadi in 2032. So on his own in 2032, what showing will he have? But if he had supported Raila, there are 2 benefits. One is that he could inherit Raila's constituency.
He could?
Yes. Many people where Raila is strong, have a soft spot for Mudavadi, including the Luo people. They have a soft spot for him. He could have inherited Raila because Raila would have won last year. But the bigger thing is, if Raila had won the president last year, this club membership that runs the country would have been demolished. The president would have belonged now to anybody in future. And who better place to fight for presidency in an open election than Musalia Mudavadi in 2027? It would just have been a way. You see, this is what happens when you are weak. And I'm sorry for saying this. I know these leaders. I interact with them. I know none of them can face Raila.
None.
I can tell you on this show because people will be watching. They too will be watching, and they can be told if they don't watch. That is the problem of fearing Raila.
They know his weaknesses. They've been in his camp.
No, that's the problem of fearing him. Instead of bolting to sulk and get angry and go to Ruto, Mudavadi ought to have faced Raila and call somebody like me there. Mambia, we have supported you in the past, blah, blah, blah. We will support you this one time, but here are the clear conditions. First, it's 1 term. 2, this is our stake in that government. 3, this is what happens in 2027.
Mwana wa Hana.
Yes. Why didn't he call me? To sit Raila down with him and tell him, we will support you, but this time on very clear conditions. So the consequence of sulking, getting angry, throwing tantrums, and being unable to face Raila is that then you go to a side where by 2032 you'll be over 70 years old. The rate at which the country is moving today, are you telling me these guys, you'll come from the bush and beat Gachagua and you are 70-something?
But maybe he considers himself the latter day Kijana wa Malo in Luya politics.
How?
He'll always have the support of that bloc and also the countrywide support.
Which one? Like which one now? I don't understand the question.
You don't understand the question?
Please frame it better.
I will frame it better on the next edition, but you just have to call Musalia Mudavadi a ghost worker.
It's not me. It's the description somebody has taken to court, and we shall not pursue beyond that.
All right, there you have it from Herman Manyora talking a plethora of issues in the world of politics. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, God bless.